Okay, it's 7:09. Let's call the meeting to order. It appears as though everybody is in attendance. And the first, I'm sorry? Okay, so the first order of business would be,
Does somebody have their mic on or some kind of interference?
Yeah, I keep hearing something, but I'm locked up in a spare bedroom. So,
Yeah, and I've got headphones on, so it's not feed
yeah. I
from
do too.
mine. But I'll mute myself. I mean, if everybody mutes themselves
I can.
except for Dom.
okay, so the first order of business would be approval of the minutes from last meeting. Does anybody have any questions, issues, or concerns about the past minutes?
Actually, Dom, I was not able to get the minutes from the last meeting into a format to
Okay,
get them out today. So there actually are no minutes to approve
there you
from the
go.
last meeting.
Okay, so moving right along. Citizens, petitions, and comments. Anybody?
I don't have petitions, but some people have questions about, I don't know if it falls into this location in the meeting, but just questions about future things. Would that be here or would that be correspondence and communications?
Sure, right now I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. So with the numbers looking like they're dropping, let's continue to hope they do so. For COVID, people are wondering what that means for spring park programs. Are they going to be offered virtually, in person? Are they still planning on doing it starting out virtually with the option of possibly going in person, but still offering virtual options, etc.?
Yes. We are still planning on starting virtual, and if the numbers continue to drop and the town manager says that, he's comfortable, he has said that he expects that the public buildings will reopen by the end of the month. And what exactly that looks like is probably going to depend on the particular building. Everybody will still have to wear masks even if they're inside. Still be social distancing, but there is the possibility that people can be back in the buildings. And so we are planning to start virtually, shift to in-person, but also offer the virtual option if you've signed up for a class. So they'll have that choice. And we're also going to be looking at trying to do some programming outside that may work better than programming inside, just to allow us more people to participate in some particular programs.
Okay, and there were at least a couple people who requested that the status be posted in the sign up, like wherever it's documented. I guess it's going to be online. That there will be a virtual option that will continue, or whether or not that's going to happen, if that can be posted, if there will be continually a virtual option, even after things reopen, stuff like that, or if it'll be outside whenever possible, weather permitting, those things.
Right. Yes, I'm sure that I don't know the particulars of how that information will be conveyed, but I know that it will be. And I will make the suggestion that if we can have that on the online registration page at some point, and maybe even a couple of different places, that we do that.
Okay. And the other thing people were asking about is, when things do reopen, is the cleaning policy going to be posted somewhere so people can take that into account when they decide whether they are comfortable doing it indoors and out? Because while a lot of people are vaccinated, there are a lot of people who won't be, and the children won't be, at least not until a while.
Yep. France, I think that's something that we should certainly be doing also. So I'll make sure that happens.
Mark, is the manager using a number threshold for COVID? So what is he basing openings?
Yeah. So there's a chart where there's 3 different colors, and I think it's yellow, orange, and red.
Yep,
The yellow is less than 5 people per 100 new cases. Less than 5 people per 1,000 new cases is in the yellow. Orange, I think, is between 5 and 14, and then red is above 14 per 1,000, or maybe it's per 100. I can't remember. But I think that's what he has been using as kind of the metric to make the decision to, and I know we've been slowly moving down closer and closer to that
okay, I was just
that
curious.
number. Yeah.
So presently, we are orange in the state of Connecticut.
No, I
So-
think we're still red, aren't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, you think we're orange?
Yeah,
Okay.
but anyway,
Well, how long have we been orange?
I would say for a week.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think he wanted to wait a couple of weeks just to make sure there wasn't kind of a rebound, because there's different, variants out there. And if all of a sudden there's an uptick, I think he was trying to avoid opening and then having to close again. So he'd rather go a few weeks after we've dropped below that number, just to feel comfortable enough to open up again.
okay. So is it safe to assume he's waiting until we get to yellow?
He has not said that.
Okay,
So I'm not sure.
okay,
Hopefully in a couple of weeks we will be.
yep. Any other citizens petitions or comments? Town council referrals. Correspondence and communications. I think we actually covered it pretty good. Okay, Mark, you're up next for the director report.
Okay. So like I said, we're hoping to reopen beginning sometime around the 1st of April. No specific date has been set. And I guess the other thing that I wanted to share with everybody is, if you looked at the monthly report and you recall that last time we met, there was a citizen that lived near Bel Air Park that was concerned about dogs and whatnot. And I followed up with her. I spoke to the police department and to animal control. And so they were aware of the situation. I think they were going to reach out to her. I provided her their contact information. And we also went ahead and put in a mutt mitt dispenser, a barrel, and added some signage. And if you see one of the pictures that's in the report, there's actually a bunch of footsteps going up to the mutt mitt dispenser and the barrels and the pitchers. So hopefully that means that people are using that. And she did reach out to me to thank me for taking care of the situation, and offered to write a letter saying how responsive I was, but I didn't make her do that. So so I think that's probably the two things that I wanted to share. We continue to do outside programs. We've done a number of different scavenger hunts, and people have responded positively to that. We've changed it up every 2 weeks. I think the next one we're doing is find a pot of gold or something like that. We're just trying to get people out. We had a really nice celebration at the Raheem Carter Memorial Park back on the 28th of February, and we had a great turnout. We probably had 50 or 60 people there. He was an extraordinary young man, and his twin brother spoke, and his mom spoke, and it was pretty emotional, but it was a wonderful event, and I think the family deeply appreciated what we had done. And the town manager has said that he wants to, we've been in the process of switching over our park signs as they need to be replaced, part of the wayfinding plan that the town has, and the town manager says that he wants to switch that sign over before, as soon as we can do that. So we're going to be doing that shortly. So that was a great event. And I don't know if there's any questions about anything else that was in the report.
Mark,
Well,
just how
yeah.
far in advance was that planned?
About 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is this something I would have, if we could get advance notice of something like that
Yeah.
as commissioners, so that
Yeah.
we could participate, even as citizens, that's something I would have liked to go to, but I had a conflict. But had I had
Right.
been
Yeah.
forewarned, I could have worked some things around, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I should have taken the time to extend an invitation to the commission, and I apologize for not doing that.
Okay, we're gonna move. Anybody have any other questions or issues? Moving to the golf course. Which, by the way, seems like it's pretty well loaded
Yeah.
in the last couple of days.
We are slammed. Every single day is just, I was out there today, and the phone's ringing off the hook, and we're booked. We're enjoying the benefit of the fact that some of the other local golf courses haven't opened yet. There's I think there was one that opened today. There's another one opening tomorrow. So it will be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks, but at this point, there does not seem to be any drop off in the interest in playing golf, which I think is good for us. I did present to the council last night the proposed rates, and they approved the rates. So the rates for the peak season have been set, and that has already been updated on the Shinnecock webpage. I did have a question. I know, Angela, I think you had reached out to Dom about Dom taking your place on the golf advisory board.
Yep.
Is that finalized?
Yep.
So that I can share that information with the?
If nobody else would like to do it, I would be
Okay,
happy.
excellent. Okay. Then
Thank you,
then I'll-
Dom.
Well, my pleasure.
You've got some big shoes to fill, Dom.
I know it.
Like,
know it.
literally, I have big feet, so.
Speaking of the golf course,
Yes.
I know that in their list of things that they've been doing while there was snow cover, one of the things is mending fences. And over by the on Eastern Point Road, by the number 12 tee box, the fence is literally falling down in several spots. So I was just hoping that perhaps they could send somebody over and mend it. Now, I did see someone in a pickup truck that looked like a business, stopped, got out of his car, out of the truck, and looked at the fence. So I don't know if we have an outside contractor doing something there to replace or repair. So I just wanted to bring that up too.
Okay.
They
All
might
right,
want.
Okay, I will, I'll mention that to Eric.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Okay, Trails Coordinating Task Force.
Yeah, they meet quarterly and we're meeting next week. So I'll be able to give you an update at the April meeting. And I think in the monthly report, I did share that the park staff have cut a new trail.
On the King property, yeah.
Yes, yes, yep.
Yep.
And just to give you a heads up, next month, the Parks and Rec Commission will be listening to a group proposing to change the name of that area. That's the process that it goes through when parks or open space, there's proposed changes to the name. So they're going to be, they wanted to get on tonight's agenda, but they sent the information to me too late. So next month, they will be presenting a proposal to change the name of the Kolnaski Conservation Area. And they'll be explaining why they're doing that. So just to give you a heads up for next month.
Okay. Anything with athletic fields?
The Athletic Fields Task Force has now presented to the Town Council, the RTM, and I think Monday night they presented to the Board of Ed. Their proposal, the Board of Ed was very supportive. They're happy to have the Athletic Fields Task Force kind of take the lead on this and offered whatever support that the task force needed. And I know the task force right now is working on gathering information about synthetic turf fields. And tomorrow night, the Planning and Zoning Commission reviews all the CIP projects. And one of the proposed CIP projects is to appropriate money to spend on the study to kind of finalize, you know, we have a general idea of what we need for fields, a general idea of where we want them, but they're proposing, or there's money to be spent towards kind of finalizing all those plans and working out a lot more of the details. So hopefully that's kind of the first step, as it's the town manager kept the money in. Then it goes to planning and zoning, and then we go to the council, and then finally to the RTM. So there's a few more steps involved, but so far so good.
Anybody have any other questions about the fields? Agency accreditation.
We are still working on that. Asia is pulling all the information and putting it in. I know, Angela, you offered to help. I think we are at this point on track. Tomorrow I'm going to share we're using a software called Power DMS, which is DMS's data management system. And that's what we're pulling all of this information into. I'm going to share with the mentor our login information so that he can and let him know we've finished chapter 3, and let him know that he can go in and take a look at that and provide some feedback for us while we continue to move forward with that whole process. And currently I'm on a visiting team for Wichita, Kansas. Tomorrow I wrap up. I had 4 chapters that I had to analyze, and I have been sending my information back to Wichita saying, I don't think you met this standard, or I'd like to see a little bit more evidence. Next week, we have a series of meetings with the Wichita staff to kind of make sure that everything's in place. This is a reaccreditation for them, for Wichita, so it's a little bit easier than going through the process with an agency that hasn't been accredited before. So I've been fortunate. I did St. Petersburg last year. It was a great educational opportunity for me, and doing Wichita this year, and just seeing what other departments have for information and what they do. You know, I can extract from that and apply that to our department. And a year from now, we will be going through this process, hopefully not virtually, but actually in person. There'll be 3 or 4 people that will come out for 5 days and kind of assess the department and all the information that we've provided with them. And the commission would, I'm sure that they would want to meet with the commission and ask some questions and whatnot. So looking forward to all of that.
Great. The Pratt Building?
The Pratt Building. So we are working on a second survey. The council has had an opportunity, 2 opportunities to provide input to the survey. They've provided some questions, and late this afternoon, the Great Blue, who is the company that does surveying, they sent us back a draft that included the counselor feedback. I did not look at it before I left, but I will do that tomorrow. And hopefully we are getting close to having a finished product that we can get out there and start surveying folks.
Okay, any unfinished business? Depart-
Tom, I just
Yep.
wanted to ask Mark before we leave reports, what's the status of the senior center rebranding project?
We are waiting to hear back from the consultant. They're developing a 3rd name alternative. We had 2 and they wanted to come up with 1 more so that when we put the survey out, folks have 3 choices to consider. So, and it's been a couple of weeks since we've heard from them. I would expect that we hear from them soon, and that the survey, well, I don't want to speculate on when, but I would think within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the survey would be going out to the public.
I would suggest, because it's been very quiet about that project, that there'll need to be perhaps a little bit more advance notice or something to
Yeah.
refocus people on the project.
Yeah, I agree. I think once we know, once we have a targeted date for the survey to go out, I suspect that we'd have a couple of weeks lead time, and we would let folks know, remind them about this project, let them know that they may be getting something, maybe getting a phone call, and Great Blue will provide us with kind of a narrative that we can put out so that people know when they see a phone call from Great Blue that it's not, because I think that's what shows up on caller ID, so that they know that it's, not somebody
Legitimate.
selling aluminum siding or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Unfinished business, Department Public Information Policy and Procedure Review.
Yeah, so I think in my email I had mentioned that this is actually something that the commission had looked at, I think back in November, and in looking at the agency accreditation requirements, it says that the governing body has to approve it. The commission, we had a discussion about it, but it was never approved formally. So I kind of reintroduced that idea so that hopefully that it could get approved formally. I know Dom and both Elizabeth provided some feedback on the copy that I had sent out.
The
Is
feedback,
it just for the, go ahead, Elizabeth. Okay, are we approving the risk management one or the policy and public information?
Well, I actually made a mistake. in going back and looking, yeah, it happens. In going back and looking at the notes, the commission actually already did approve the draft risk management policy and plan. You did that
Okay,
a couple of months ago. So it's only the public
that's
information
what
policy.
I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
I misread I went back and looked at the minutes and misread them. And then I was looking at them again tonight and I'm like, oh, shoot, they've already approved that. So anyway, there's only, I think there's only one thing to be approved tonight. But there, I think needs to be a discussion. Dawn provided quite a few comments and so I guess we should probably discuss those suggestions. They all looked fine with me, but it's up to the commission. And I know Elizabeth sent some notes out late, and I actually didn't see those.
And it really was just a very simple rewording for editorial reasons, not substantive.
Okay.
So where would we like to go with this? You know, when I read it like that 3.4 policy, the
Mhm.
first paragraph seemed like a run-on sentence. I mean, we must have used "and" in that sentence at minimum of 10 times.
Wow.
And if you look at it, you know, it's just and this and that and park and then and I like things to be, when I write, I like things to be concise
Sure.
and to the point.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I don't always get it that way, but you know, that's how I like it to be.
Sure.
And then I noticed that in one area, they used the wrong word. They used inquire instead, and they were looking to use inquiry, and they missed putting another I. It was just a misspelling problem.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I noted that in the thing that I sent you.
Okay.
I mean, is this something, Mark, that perhaps, you know, the commission members could look at, send you their edits, you go back to your, whoever wrote this, perhaps they could gather all of the edits and
Sure.
see what they like.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, that's what I think might.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want, you know, I don't want to put some of those writers' noses at it, you know, because I radically changed some things, and, you know, maybe they had something that they wanted to say that I missed or cut out or something like that, you know.
Right. Yeah, we could certainly do that. And then what I could do is we'll just put this on the unfinished business for next month. And get this out. And I apologize for not getting this information out sooner. I was out last Friday and software issues Monday into
Yep.
Tuesday, so you didn't have a whole lot of time to look at stuff. But yes, if folks wanted to send comments in, suggestions in, we could certainly do a track changes so that everybody can see what the changes were, and then discuss next at the April meeting, and hopefully finalize that at that meeting.
Am I
Is
correct
that-
that this, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is that something everybody would agree with, or would you prefer to do it here and now?
Oh, that's fine. I just want to make sure we're talking, it's just the policy on public information, right?
Correct.
Yes,
That's the only
Yes.
part? Okay.
right, yeah.
Just want to make sure I have it right for the notes.
The risk management policy and plan was previously approved.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't hate it. It wasn't fantastic, just 3.4, but it's relatively short. And I guess I was looking at it as you're covering all your bases. So is it written the way I would write it? No, but I also don't have anything majorly against it. So, but I'm happy to edit it and submit my recommendations, and then we can review it the next meeting.
Do you have a background in public information? Just,
Me? Oh,
yeah.
no.
No, okay.
No, but I mean, I've read enough legal documents,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, it reads like a public organization's policy on information requests. So
Yeah.
I like there. I think there was one spot I found that needed a colon, but I didn't mark it somewhere. And then the one thing that I just felt was really clunky was the department utilizes its website, and I
Yes.
felt like, well, I say its website, just put the website. But
Okay.
that was everything else. I was like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you have
Yeah.
to say all those words. Sometimes there's no better way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more than happy to take comments and come up with another draft.
I agree with Angela. That same paragraph bothered me too, because it was sort of clunky. And that was what I had sent her around in an email.
Okay.
Okay, any new business?
Dom, the only thing that I had, it's not on here, but March 25th is the public hearing for the budget. So that would be, I'm not telling you what to say, I'm just providing the information that there is an opportunity to support the Parks and Recreation Department and their budget.
Can you give us could you send all of the commissioners like an outline of,
Sure.
you don't need to send us all the line by line
Right,
item
but just kind of a
requests, but
highlight. Yep.
right, and the things that are maybe new,
Okay.
things that are kind of blue sky and you're hoping that the council says yes to them.
Yeah.
Like, is there money in there for the theater at the community center? Yeah, something like that, right?
Yes.
So if there's anything in there, like new projects, new capital improvements, if there are some investments, I know Sutton Park has been delayed multiple times. So things like that really do need attention and require funding that we should know about, that we could argue for.
Sure, absolutely. I will do that.
Okay.
The next meeting date?
Is April 14th.
April 14th. Would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Oh my gosh, this is the fastest meeting we've ever done. Good job, everybody. High five, high five, high five, high five. I motion that we adjourn.
And I second that motion.
All right.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right, anyone opposed? Okay.
All right, so it's
Oh,
5-0.
Angela, I'm good for the 28th. I talked to my mom tonight
perfect.
and her closing is on the 30th, so we're all set.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I shared that with my planning partner, and she was very excited to hear that. And I was like, well, you have to wait. Like, we might need to change the day, but he's in, and we're just not sure on the date. So,
Yeah, yep,
but that's good. All right. Fantastic.
okay.
All right.
Bye,
Fran,
everybody.
Are you all set?
I think
Have a
so.
good night, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
night, everybody.
All right, yeah,
Bye.
good night.
Night, everyone.
Bye.